Hi, my name is Omoneh. Okay, so on today's topic, it's reference to how to handle your reflections. Now, it's basically making reference to for every time you pass or you walk through anything whatsoever that can show you yourself, your image. Now, how do you handle that situation? That's basically what this topic is all about. Now, so it's either you deliberately walked up to an actual mirror to take a look at yourself, or probably you just walked past a car and you can see yourself, or even if it's just water on the floor or on the ground that you can actually see yourself. Now, the whole idea here is, what do you see when you look at any item or anything that can show you your image, any glass that can show you your image? What really do you see? Because it is very important that you're very observant to know exactly what you see. So you see yourself. I know exactly what I'm trying to say is, you see yourself. That's what you see. If we're going to make reference to that, what really do you see? Of course, you see yourself. You see exactly what physically, outwardly, what you have on, how you look at that point in time. That is exactly what you see physically. Now, in your mind's eye, in your heart of heart, what really do you see? Think about it. Okay, now, remember we're still on the topic how to handle your reflections by Omoneh. Okay, so what do you see really in your mind's eye? Now, to the next question. What do you hear? Yes, of course, you can see your reflection. You can see your image on the other side of the mirror. And yes, of course, you're seeing physically what you have on. Now, what's your mind seeing when you look at yourself? Either through the glass of a car or an actual mirror or reflection against water. What exactly does your mind see? These things are key because you know yourself what your mind sees. So is your mind saying, see a person B? Or is your mind saying, you're looking so fat, or you're looking so thin, look at your nose, look at your hair, look at your skin, oh my goodness, you're not just looking good at all. So now, what exactly does your mind say to you? What do you hear? Because it's not just about looking at the mirror or looking at the reflection or looking at your image being reflected in the mirror. What are you seeing physically with your eyes? Then what is your mind seeing and what is your mind saying to you? These things are key. You have to watch it, basically, because if you don't watch it, it will kill your self-esteem, brutalize your self-image. Trust me, you wouldn't want to be in that state. You wouldn't want to be in that mental phase or that mental state. It is not healthy at all. So hence this topic, how to handle your reflections. Please, if you fall into the category whereby for every time you walk through anything that can reflect your image or that can show you how you're looking, or you could see yourself through an actual mirror or a glass of a car, or anything that can reflect, that can show you your image, take charge of that moment. For every time, this is how to actually handle your reflections. So I'm talking about what to say, and hopefully you listen. How those moments, no matter how short or how long you intend looking at yourself over the mirror, over the glass of the car, or anything that reflects your image, that moment is priceless to you. Don't leave it to your thoughts, most especially if your thoughts are not in the right frame. Most especially if your thoughts are not positive, you need to watch it. So and this is what I'm suggesting. For every time you walk up to an actual mirror, or you walk past a car and you take a glimpse at yourself, or you walk past anything that would definitely reflect your image, you seeing yourself through it, please have words that you say for every time. If you go through a mirror or a glass or anything that reflects your image 10 times, don't just stare at yourself. Speak to yourself. Say something to yourself. I, for one, I can beat my chest and I can tell you I've been doing this. It will help greatly. Don't leave it to negative thoughts. Don't leave it to negative thoughts. And please don't walk up. Don't. Or probably you took a picture or something. Or don't look at yourself in the mirror or in the glass, and the next thing you're saying is very derogatory. That is super, super unfair to yourself. Don't do that. So here's what I would advise. I do this all the time. Even if you're walking to an actual mirror, or you a glass, whatever would reflect your image, please have words. Whenever I pass either a car and I have to glimpse at myself, or I walk up to an actual mirror, I am saying something. Girl, you are beautiful. Most times I call my name. Omoneh, you are fine. Omoneh, your hair is looking so beautiful. Omoneh, you've done your best today and your best is great enough. Omoneh, your skin is really beautiful. Omoneh, your hair is beautiful. And your makeup is really fine today. Your beauty is beyond surface level. Omoneh, you are flourishing. Omoneh, you are beautiful just the way you are. Look at yourself and check yourself out. Literally check yourself out. Look at your shape. Look at your bum. Look at your legs. Admire your skin. Admire your eyes. Admire your nose, your mouth. Admire your dentition. You have to do these things for yourself. This would even help you generate a kind of strength from within that needing an external validation would almost become irrelevant and useless. So please, for every time you go through a mirror or you go through a glass or anything that reflects you, have positive things to say about yourself. Do not keep quiet. This is how to manage. This is how to handle your reflections. And it's also another powerful way to boost your self-esteem. So please make it a point of call that for every time, no matter how short the time you spend there, for every time you pass through a glass or a mirror or anything that shows you yourself, say something positive to yourself. That is how to handle your reflections. That is how to build a positive mindset towards yourself. That is how to also generate awesome self-esteem for yourself. That is how to build a beautiful image in your own eye. So no matter, you will get to a stage whereby even when the externals are saying something that is not pleasant to you, honey, there is already going to be a very powerful belief system you have within, a powerful strength you have within you, because over time you spoke to yourself for every time you saw your reflection, for every time you saw your self-image. I do this all the time. It is very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. So for every time you walk to a mirror, say something positive to yourself and believe it. You have to appreciate yourself for yourself first. So please, whenever, make it a point of duty. Take it as it's a matter of urgency, a matter of extreme importance for yourself image. For every time, this is the perfect way to handle your reflections. For every time you go through any object that can reflect, that can show you like a mirror-like stuff, glass, that can show you your image, don't see yourself and talk yourself down. That is very, very wrong and extremely unfair to you. Call forth whatever it is you want. As you see yourself, declare. If it's the scripture you want to recite, say it and believe it. Speak to yourself positively. Empower yourself with your words. That is how to handle your reflections. For every time, regardless of where you are, do that. I do this all the time, no matter where I am. So long I am in front of something that I can see myself, I am saying something awesome to myself. Honey, you have to appreciate yourself for you first before you can even believe any other person's appreciation. Because sometimes your mind can be so damaged that you can even be lacking the ability to accept compliments. Do you understand? We need to tackle self-sabotaging, and this is another way to do that. So for every time you see yourself, every time, don't miss it. For every time you see your reflection, every time you see your image in the mirror or glass, say something sweet, say something powerful, say something uplifting, say something empowering, say something admirable to yourself. Don't just say it in your mind, voice it out. Voice it out. Allow yourself hear yourself. Trust me, if you do this over time, you cannot even explain your level of the level of confidence you would have, or the level of beautiful aura you will ooze. So I would employ everyone listening to this to try it out. Trust me, if you don't practice these things for yourself, it cannot work. It's not magic. It's not magic. Some things don't even actually, sincerely speaking, some things don't need prayers. You have to practice it. Consistency, you have to practice it to make it manifest. Even after you have prayed, you still have to play your part. You cannot be praying and yet when you see yourself in the mirror, you are saying contrary to what you've prayed for. Nothing will work. It will not work. It's not a curse, it is the truth. It will not work. So as you are praying, practice these things to yourself. Practice it with yourself. It is yourself. You owe it to yourself. You owe yourself building yourself to a very positive level of mindset. So you owe yourself that much to practice it, to grow yourself, to improve yourself. This is a way to improve and grow your mind for yourself, for your sanity's sake, for your healthiness of your mind, soul, and body. You have to validate yourself first. Your validation should be strongest than any other external validation. Now, this is one major way to do that. Handle your reflections perfectly. Say something really nice and sweet and empowering and uplifting to yourself for every time you see yourself in the mirror or in the glass or any time you see your reflection. Your future self will be grateful to you for this singular practice. So try it out, and I hope to get feedback. when you commence on your consistency journey in handling your reflections in healthy ways, as I have suggested now. So remember, we are all a work in progress. Nobody has it all figured out. We all have to practice little things to actually gain the mighty things. It doesn't just fall from the sky.